Okay, board, it's warm. I wanted to quickly talk about my Cervelo, not Cervelo. This is not a Cervelo. This is a Tan FM639 size 54. I said Cervelo because if you can't tell, it's heavily, extremely, incredibly inspired by the Cervelo R5 down to the geometry. So again, size 54. I'm 5'9" or about 175 centimeters tall, kind of standard leg length. So I'll just go front to back. It was supposed to be a weight weenie build, but I fell short of my target. I think kind of naked, it's just under 7 kilograms. So we will go through it. I'm going to try and stop saying So, handlebars, Tavelo Avro, I believe, size 380 by 130. So I went back and forth between the size 56 to get a little more reach or the size 54. Personally, I like the way size 54 frames look. Just that smaller geometry, I don't know, it just looks better to me. And it's more kind of aggressive. The bike just feels better and it's lighter. It's supposed to be a weight weenie build. I have Ultegra mechanical 11 speed, kind of standard stuff. So that's the shifters, hydraulic shifters, and derailleur. Wheels are interesting. There's a company called GoZone, and they had some wheels on AliExpress, carbon spoke in different sizes. So I think 30 wide, really 31 wide measured, and different depths of 35, 40, or 45. So I went 45 because my last bike I had 60 millimeter elite drives, and I liked them. They carried speed well, but obviously they were super heavy. So I wanted to kind of compromise. I didn't want to go full weight weenie. So far, they're okay. The front is good. The back has been giving me some issues with flats, which I think is an issue with the rim tape, which I'm going to switch out, and also the tires that I'm running. So if you can see, the front are GP 5000 TTs. The back are regular GP 5000. And the reason for that, I tried the TTs in the back and I just kept getting flats with TPU tubes. So I switched to the regular GP5K and latex tubes in the back, and so far it has been better. So I'm gonna maybe switch back to the TTs in the back or not. I'm not sure. Because the other thing with the TTs, again, in the back, maybe it's a bum tire, I don't know. But in the wet, or when the weather's not perfect, the back kind of skips around. And I feel like that's part of the TT, you know, super optimized for speed versus grip kind of thing. So I'm not really crazy about that. So I have a pair of regular GP5Ks. I have the TTs. I might, whichever ones I end up going with, I'll sell the other ones. What else do we have? So those are the wheels and the tires. The crank is a Quarq power meter, dub, bottom bracket. This uses, I want to say, BB86. So I got the conversion bottom bracket for that. 48 tooth. 1x, which works okay. It's kind of rolling hills here. When I'm in shape, it's not a problem. So right now, it's a problem. The back is a GOLDIX 11 by 34 cassette. Super light. They measured at 140 grams, and they shift amazing. So definitely worth looking into. We'll see how they wear. I still have to, I guess, wax the chain. So I probably should have stripped everything and waxed it before I put it on, but I got excited. The chainring is an Extralite 48 tooth. Not really, I forget how much that weighed. I want to say 70 grams, something like that. Brake rotors are just generic AliExpress. I want to say KCNC, and I want to say they weighed in at 70 grams. So these wheels have center lock rotors. I'm not sure if you could do the option of 6 bolts. I shouldn't have. That was more weight that I skipped out on, or that I missed out on. But it is what it is. Dura Ace pedals. One thing that is a little funky about this bike, I guess it's the last thing, is the saddle and seat post. So this is another AliExpress special, Groupset Ultimate, and the seat post is Alita 1. So this is a really light setup. I think the seat post is maybe 120 grams, something like that, and then the saddle is probably about 140 grams, somewhere around there. So really light, but it you know, with weight comes compromise, so it almost feels kind of flimsy. And I'm not sure if that's kind of the spindly, you know, that part of the bike. I can't, seat stays. Yeah, I think the spindly seat stays, maybe it's kind of wobbly, but my last bike was similar and it didn't feel like that. But I had a different saddle and seat post setup, so I'm kind of on the fence about this setup. And the other thing, it's kind of, I gotta set up the seat rails. I think initially when I set it up, it wasn't tight and the saddle flew off, so that was not good. But I fixed that, and it's still, everything's torqued down properly. I think you can see the Loctite in there, but it still doesn't feel 100%. So that's something I'm gonna work on. But overall, it's a fun bike. I am enjoying it so far. Gotta get back in shape, that's the big thing. But the integrated front end, compared with my last bike, looking at interval ICU rides and comparing just the loops I've been doing for years, I think the front end, because the rest of the bike is pretty similar, so integrated front end and 45 mil wheels versus exposed front end and 60 mil wheels is a net 10 watts at 19 miles per hour average loop with hills and stuff. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely, I think, more aero. And of course the paint is just amazing. Yeah, see, it's purple here and it turns green this way, so it's just a beautiful bike. I really love riding it. So next steps, I think I got to get that was the other thing, the rear wheel came in out of true, just a little wobbly, so I got to get that trued up. I think there's more optimization with the rotors. I just grabbed some random rotors, so I might try Galfers. The braking power also, this is my first hydraulic brake bike. Let me not say that. I had a gravel bike, and both of them, I'm just not crazy about the braking power. Maybe my expectations are too high with coming from motorcycles. There, you know, there's all kinds of options for master cylinders and pads and calipers and everything, whereas with this you're really locked in. So I'm gonna play, I guess the only thing I can really do is mess with the pads, see if I can get some grabbier pads, like some sintered metal pads, and and go from there, and maybe see about, I'll have to sacrifice on the saddle and seat post, try my old one and see if it's more solid or if the frame is just kind of more wobbly. But overall, I'm happy with the build. I mean, for the money, I want to say I didn't spend, I think you could build this all for $3,000 or so, and you're not getting this level of, anywhere near this level of build with like a big brand, obviously. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that, contrast that with my beater Twitter C6. And so yeah, you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.